Fishes. That was a good call there, Keenan. What's up? Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here.
Waterbox Wednesday, best day of the week, and it's Q&A day, which is always a great one.
It's always the first Wednesday of the month, if you guys didn't know.
Yeah, so it is a stream that we're designating fully to your questions, and we're answering them because we can never get through all the questions in our other streams, so we're trying to designate one stream per month that is just answering questions. So start dropping those into the chat now. We're going to get through those, both Instagram and Facebook. And we're also giving away some gift cards.
As always. Two $100 gift cards?
Yes.
Cool.
You seemed unsure.
As if it's not almost the same every week.
Yes.
Again, post your questions below. Ask us anything. That's also part of the currency to win. We need to know you're here. So if you guys like the stream, smash the like button. If you don't touch any of the like buttons. Actually, no, just hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Helps us out a lot. So.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, currency to win is being active in the chat. So Instagram as well. I'm gonna put this out there because I always say it, is we announce the winner of the gift card at the end of the stream. Now, because this is a live on Instagram, if you do not stick around, you do not know you that won. So you do want to stick around till the end of the stream, Instagram, to claim your gift card. So don't dip out on us, don't run away, stick around. You're gonna learn a lot too, so it's a great stream for that. So stay tuned.
If you don't stick around and you're on Instagram, your gift card evaporates.
Yeah, it just doesn't stay around waiting for you. You gotta be able to claim it. So stick around for that and get your questions in place now.
If you guys didn't know, Black Friday ended yesterday, our Black Friday sale.
Yes.
So if you didn't take advantage of it, you missed out. But a lot of people, yeah, a lot of people did not miss out. A ton of people took advantage of it. It was a 13-day Black Friday sale.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Black Friday used to be Black Friday.
I will tell you.
Now it's November.
It is. It is. I mean, because Black Friday then turns into like Saturday and then Cyber Monday. The amount of emails per day that I got from every company that I was signed up to in my life ever, all through this last couple weeks has been insane. But it's a great time for Q&A too, because between Blue Friday and Black Friday and this whole month of November, the amount of people that have gotten new aquariums, there are so many people that may be a first-time aquarium or they're upgrading to something larger or adding a second aquarium. There's a lot of questions. So, you know, drop your questions in here about maybe your first aquarium, anything water box, anything aquarium related. You know, we're going to get through as many as we can as possible. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started.
Yep. And again, guys, put your questions below. I got an Infinia 215.5. Where would you put the heaters in the sump?
Yep. So for heaters, you want to make sure they're in an area of good flow. And in that size aquarium, you're probably going to be running 2 of them by wattage, unless you happen to have like a 800 watt titanium. So usually I try to keep them not right next to each other because they're going to kind of offset each other with one putting off heat and then faking the other one out. So I usually put one in the back chamber where the drain pipes are putting flow into the sump, and then put one into the chamber. You can either put it by with the pump or into the main chamber refugium skimmer section. So you don't want them right next to each other because one's gonna turn on and make the other one think that it's hot enough. So they're kind of counteract each other. So space them out, but make sure they're in an area that's gonna have a lot of water flow passing by them and taking that heat into the aquarium.
Someone said they aren't even live on YouTube. Yes, Brad, we are live on YouTube. We're also live
right
on
here.
Instagram.
The same guy you're answering the questions to.
Oh, okay. Also, how hard would it be to rip out my overflows for a filter roller?
I'm guessing you're talking about the filter sock holder. So the filter sock holder should be removable, unless we're talking about the previous Infinia or Infinia Reef.
I think the 215.5 is the old Infinia.
Okay, old Infinia. That one was not removable. And I know a lot of people have basically cut out filter sock area and that baffle section. And you can probably go to our Facebook official user group, and there's a ton of people that have done it. You can go in there, but you need to cut out that whole section, and then you should be able to use filter roller. There's also a couple brands that drop into the sock holder themselves. So it depends on what brand you're going to use, but you are going to have to cut out some baffle glass sections if you're using the one that doesn't drop into the actual sock chamber.
Thank you, Steve. Everyone definitely smash that like button. What do you think is the best sand for Corridoras on a budget?
Ooh, Corys. I love Cory cats. You are going to want to use, depending on the size aquarium, go with one of the Carib Sea sand options for that. I like the Samurai soil, but it's not going to be a very budget friendly if it's a larger aquarium. If it's something smaller, it's a good choice because it's super soft and round, and really good for Cory cats. If you are going for something larger, don't do anything chunky. You're going to use a sand substrate. I prefer Carib Sea in general as a brand. So look at their fine sands. You know, it is kind of a give and take if you're doing a planted aquarium. You don't want to go too dense of a sand because you want to make sure that your plants have nutrients and stuff. But you want to make sure that it's not too rough a substrate for your Cory cats.
Yeah, Brad says it's the previous Infinia. So
Okay.
get to
You
cutting.
have to do some cutting.
Get to cutting.
It's not that hard though. People check out in the group. Tons of people have done it. Even on our newer models, if they have something that's not going to fit in that section, it's just cutting some silicone out on those inner.
Just don't cut the wrong seam. How do I convince my wife to move the TV to get a 6-foot tank instead of a 4-foot tank? Just do it anyways, man. Ask for forgiveness.
That is great. That was better than advice than I was going to say. You accidentally break the TV and then suddenly have a 6-foot aquarium there. But
Mike says, should I have the Nios media reactor and the skimmer be in the same space on my Waterbox 230? No, you should not. You should have a Waterbox protein skimmer and a Nios reactor in the same space and your Waterbox 230. All joking aside, what do you think?
it's like, I'm not even going to answer anymore. Yours are way better. Yeah, they can totally be together. It doesn't matter if they're in the same chamber or not, but your answer is 100% better.
Thank you, Mike. Check out our skimmers. Daniels, are filter socks really needed if I'm running a skimmer 24/7?
Absolutely. And I will, for all those people who are going to get up on my jive, I was going to say a worse word, but filter socks, filter rollers, filter floss, whatever your choice may be, you need something that's going to catch the bigger debris and chunks and food that makes it into your sump, whatever. Your skimmer's meant for organic waste. It's meant for the stuff that's already broken down. It's not going to take big chunks of waste and fish food and bring it up into your collection cup. That's not what it's intended for. It's meant for the broken down organic. So you need something as your first line of defense to take out the bigger stuff that's going to be easily removed. You replace that filter sock, the filter, whatever, and it's going to kind of take out that bigger stuff before it breaks down in your aquarium. That's going to help maintain your water quality. Your protein skimmer is going to take out the organic waste that's already a broken down substance. So you need those two different things because they serve completely different purposes. For all the filter roller lovers, there you go.
Is a UV sterilizer recommended, or is it just an added defense mechanism?
It's an optional thing. It does provide benefits, but it is not a necessity. I think in a reef environment, it is more optional than I believe in a like fish only kind of environment, because even though it can be minimal, I do think that it does cut down on a lot of natural microfauna and natural ecosystem type stuff for a reef environment. And of course you can have one and maybe use it as needed on a reef tank, but in a fish only kind of thing, I think it is very beneficial to help keep algae under control and parasites and stuff like that. Whereas in a reef tank, a lot of your microfauna and natural algae and stuff like that that you want can also be hindered with a UV sterilizer. So it is very optional in a reef tank, in my opinion.
Best filter for the Waterbox 4820.
I like the Seche,
Space
the
Eco.
Space Ecos. The 300 works great for that one. Provides enough flow. They're easy to clean. I think all in all, they're a great canister filter.
Would the LX380.8 support a custom canopy?
So technically with the bracing, you can put a canopy on it. It does still need to be lightweight because it is a lot of, if you do too heavy, it is a lot of weight pressure. With the bracing, technically you can, but make it as lightweight as possible.
Canopies have become sort of a thing of the past.
Yeah, they're not nearly as
I'd imagine that's probably
popular.
Yeah, imagine with the the way tanks have evolved, like with Waterbox and stuff. They're not as common.
So
But you can always do like I don't know. I'm thinking like, could you do something that's like suspended?
Yeah, as I was about to say, like in a perfect world, do like a floating canopy to not put the pressure on the aquarium. I'm not saying that over time it's going to be an issue, because in custom, we can do a canopy on your custom aquarium. It does have to be braced. So with the LX being a braced aquarium, it can support it. Now, if you go and make this fucking 300-pound canopy of this 1-inch solid wood.
Dropping the F-bombs today.
I said freaking. No, I said like freaking. I didn't say the actual word. I didn't say the actual word.
All of us were like,
You get one
Then
of those.
no.
It's like maybe like every 7 or 8 months she drops one.
Then no, it doesn't work. But it has to be lightweight.
Any difference in the Eden and Eden X tanks other than size? Is the glass thicker?
Yeah, I mean, as your tank gets bigger, the glass is going to be thicker. It works on any of our models that way.
That was good.
So yeah, the glass is going to be thicker as you go for a larger aquarium.
You guys will see that we have the Eden X. I mean, Eden is an Eden. They just get larger.
Yeah.
All the way up to, I think, 175 gallons now. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, 6 foot. Mm-hmm. When's a good time to replace filter socks?
With filter socks, you're gonna kind of notice that the density of the material starts to thin out a little bit after you've cleaned them a number of times. Once you notice that they're not as, as thick, and they kind of start to thin out, go ahead and replace them.
Thank you, Joshua. Gotta have those clean socks. Could you clean out the saltwater tank and transfer to a freshwater fish tank?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and scrub it and clean it with a scraper blade if you have any residue built up around the water line and stuff. But other than that, it's really just a rinse out. Just nothing sticks to anything that's harmful from one to the other.
I do want to just say real quick, there's a number of people that have joined us since we started. We are doing a Q&A first Wednesday of every month. If you ask us anything, we're giving away 2 $100 gift cards at the end of the stream. This is your time to ask us your questions about aquarium keeping or water box or whatever. Got my first water box 3 months ago. I bought a MarineX 110.4. How do you take care of the seals of the tank? And if it ever leaks, what's the warranty for it? Thanks.
So for the seals,
You're welcome.
the main thing is don't use a sharp scraper blade against your silicone. That's the thing that you really want to avoid with any aquarium is don't take your scraper blade or magnet and go right up against the silicone.
A lot of people do that. They get a new magnet cleaner, especially the
Just
ones with the metal edge, and
yeah.
they're just ramming it into the silicone. They're like, my tank's leaking. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So you don't want to do that. Along your seams, really, we say take a algae pad or toothbrush and clean right up against those because you don't want to do that. Besides that, that's really your thing. The silicone is meant to last a very long time. So in an unfortunate case that you did for some reason have a leak, our aquariums come with a warranty. You can reach out to us. There's claim form, all of that. But the main thing is really just don't use anything sharp against your silicone seams. That's really, and also don't empty your tank and then leave it dry for a long period of time either. That's going to compromise your seams. So
That's a really good tip because I bet most people don't know that. Don't leave your tank dry for too long.
Yeah.
We got, where'd it go? Anthony from Port Orange. Welcome. My mother lives in Spruce Creek in Port Orange. Can 2 different clownfish species share a tank? I have a Clarkie, but want storms. My son bought the Clarkie for my birthday in September, so I can't just rehome it.
Oh no. If it was, yeah, no, Clarkies get so much bigger than like your storms, which are Oscillarius percula, and Clarkies have quite a more aggressive personality, and just due to size difference. So now, if we were talking 200 gallon, 6 foot aquarium, maybe, you know, there's going to be a risk involved, but it's still something we don't necessarily suggest. And I would just not try it with the mix.
Oh yeah. Any recommendation on the 3 to 4 tanks for an Infinity Reef 190.5?
Ooh, that's going to be a lot of tangs in there. Get a really good skimmer, like a Waterbox skimmer, and expect to increase your water changes because that's a lot of bioload. Tangs eat a lot and they poop a lot. So with a 5 foot aquarium, you can't go with any large ones. Hippos are out. Blondaces are out, all of those. You're going to stick to some smaller ones. If you want to go slightly more peaceful, I would say go Tomini, a yellow eye cold tang. Those 2 are pretty cool. Could go a yellow, probably add him last of them. And if you had to add a 4th, ooh, well, that Tomini, no, maybe just those 3. That kind of hits those bristle tooth and one of the zebra types. You could go purple instead of the yellow if you wanted to, but you can't go with any of the larger species. So maybe those 3 would do pretty good in there.
Will the Marine X line get a plus edition? Sorry if it's been asked, just join the stream. Yes, Chris, we're going to get that done soon. Keenan, tomorrow. You're no longer off. You got to do it. What's your thoughts on converting it?
It'll be the same stuff that's in the Marine X, right?
Yeah. It'll be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, let's back up to that. You don't have to put it back up, but if you look at the Marine X Plus Edition, the components will be the same. So just take a look at those. They'll be live soon.
Yeah, you could build the same thing.
Yeah. Aquatipox, what are your thoughts on converting a traditional 75 gallon into a Euro-braced one?
Huh? You gonna do that yourself?
What kind of tank? Aquatipox? Like, is it a...
Well, that would be, if a traditional 75 gallon would be like a aquarium that has the black trim on it. You take the trim off and make a Euro brace.
You could DIY it.
It wouldn't be a Euro brace though. It would be just a standard bracing. You'd be taking pieces of glass, silicone in it.
I'd have to see the tank. Like, what kind of tank is it?
Well, 75 gallons is 48 by 12.
12? Ooh.
48 by 75, I think, should be a... No. I think it's...
We need more details.
I wouldn't do it. No, I mean, I wouldn't do it personally because you're going to have to rely on your own bracing and silicone to replace the plastic bracing that's there. But, I mean, that's just me.
Tim says, do you think you'll come out with a mini fleece roller? Send me your drawings, Tim.
That one's come in like 3 times.
Send me
Full
your,
specifics
send
and
me your
everything.
engineered drawings and design, and I'll consider it. I'm super stoked about setting up an all-in-one 50.3. Would y'all recommend 2 pumps, 2 heaters, like an Inkbird 300 watts? The Inkbirds are similar, supposedly, around the tank. Did I just have a stroke?
50.3 only needs 1.
I've never heard of Inkbirds.
Yeah, Inkbird, they're controllers.
Yeah?
You control them.
The
Yeah,
heaters?
yeah.
Oh. I'm out of touch.
Really only need 1 pump. I mean, I guess you could split it to run to. You'd have to change the plumbing around a little bit, but it really only needs one pump for the 50.3. And on that size, because it's only 50 gallons, I would say one heater. Two you could run just for redundancy in case one failed. Depends on how like over the top you want to go. So you definitely could. I don't think you need two 300 watts because I think that's a bit overkill for that many gallons because it's only 50 gallons. But yeah, if you want to run a controller, 100% go ahead because it's going to be a little peace of mind to keep it from malfunctioning or overheating or anything like that. But I don't think you're gonna have to run two because they're gonna click on and off too much. Like overrunning your water diff heaters is gonna make them turn on too much, which will also cause them to fail prematurely as well.
I like the name Inkbirds.
Inkbirds.
Nothing to do with aquariums, but. Shawnee says, when was Waterbox founded? So Waterbox was officially opened in May of 2018, but me and a few of us here spent a number of years prior to that planning it. So
Yeah.
I think dates back to like 2016. So, but the company, again, May of 2018.
Been a while.
It is. It's been a little bit. Still a relatively young company, but 7 years. Will Waterbox bring back smaller tank sizes for the frag lineup? I feel like we've had this question before. So, Reef Mike, what I will tell you is if you see something disappear from our lineup, it's because it wasn't popular enough. I mean, that's just full transparency.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say never, but I will say that we do custom for a reason, and that's because people want very specific things, so you could always do it custom. Are there any skimmers that fit in the 25-gallon Peninsula, says Mike?
Yeah, we have the CJs on our website.
I think that one's is it the 200 and the 300? Or there's two models, right? Do you remember?
What is it for?
The CJ skimmer. There's two models, Mike. It's the smaller model that fits into the 25 Peninsula.
Yeah,
And I saw another question about, is there one for the 50.3, and it's the larger version of the CJ skimmer. New shark skimmers, they just launched them at Interzoo in May. They're really cool. So.
in the Plus editions, it should list those, right?
Shark 150.
Yeah, so Mike, it's the Shark 150, and if you look at the Plus editions, like Jess just said, you can see the skimmers that match up with those, and it's also on the all-in-ones.
Is it on the configure
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you go to that model and you go to the little Plus for configure, it'll list the equipment that matches with that as well. So it'll have the protein skimmer for any model that you're looking at.
I moved everything from my 75-gallon into my new 230 about 2 weeks ago. I now have a bad dino outbreak. Any suggestions other than time and water changes?
Ooh, dinoflagellates are fun. Whenever I used to deal with dinoflagellates a lot in stores that I used to work at and run, is a lot of times water changes are actually known to make it worse. So, and I don't know if there's any more modern solutions to it. This was a lot of years ago, and I haven't dealt with them since then. But I used to, because you don't want to do big water changes, but you want to remove them because they continue to divide and spread. So, and they're disgusting. They're like little snot that just covers the rock and goes everywhere. So here's your thing. Airline tubing attached to like a little wooden dowel or some, whatever. It could be like one of the little like sticks or whatever. And I would zip tie airline tubing to a little stick. And what you would do then is create a siphon with that. And because it's an airline tubing, it removes very little water at a time, but you can spot siphon with that airline tubing and remove all the little snotty gunks of dinoflagellates. So you can remove it, which is going to slow down its like spread, but you're removing so little water at a time. So you're not really affecting the water quality and doing water changes, but you're removing it, and that's going to keep it from spreading as much as it kind of works itself out within the system. So airline tubing attached to some kind of stick or whatever. It's hard to explain. I wish I had a visual. To spot siphon. I would do this once or twice a day, anywhere it showed up. And then that would help to keep the population of it down and then resolve it throughout that. I don't know if there's better solutions to it nowadays.
I might be thinking of a different type of algae situation, but is dinoflagellates the same thing as the same nuisance algae, whatever, that you can raise the magnesium levels higher? Or is that something else?
You can do that with hair algae, but
I'm pretty
maybe
sure,
with
I want to say
dinoflagellates.
it's been a long time since I've looked that up, but I think that maybe you can
But
Google it.
dinoflagellates could be where you like 1,500 or plus.
Yeah, that's where I think you gotta go.
Possibly. But
if I remember
then you also
correctly.
have to make sure your calcium goes up high enough as well, because your magnesium can only go but 3 times as high as your calcium. So you're also jacking your calcium up.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of magnesium
Look
to
it
go
up.
up to
I don't know.
1,500.
There's something with magnesium, I think, with dinoflagellates that people have done in the past. But there might also, like you said, there might be other things to treat it with now that we just don't know about.
I mean, this is like 80 years ago. I haven't dealt with dinoflagellates since. I also haven't worked in a store for that long. So do check out if there's any newer ways to do it. But I know that was my daily routine of trying to get rid of them.
I moved everything from my 75 gallon to wait.
Nope.
That's the same one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin. Justin, Google a few of those. Google's your friend. Can you fight beta fish for sport? Like with your fists? Or
It'll be just as boring as a Tyson.
We're going to go no comment so that we don't get in trouble.
up to interpretation.
Yeah.
If my pearl tang is super friendly young, will it most likely stay that way as it gets bigger if no other tangs are added?
I mean, to other fish, a purple tang is usually fine. They're not like mean generally to other types of fish. They are going to be aggressive to other tanks. If your purple tang is in the tank first and has been established and gets older, the likelihood of adding another tang is very low in the future.
I think I've seen this person in the chat before, and I would love to know what that name translates to, because I can't directly address you. It's got to translate to something, right?
Yeah.
How should I clean everything in my tank if the cycling has stalled? It's for axolotls.
You wouldn't clean everything in the tank if it's stalled. You have to figure out why it's stalled, and also where in the cycle has it stalled and what has your process been. That's going to be really information I need to know to kind of help you along in the process. So there's a lot more information I need to know, but don't start over and don't clean everything. Going to need to know kind of how to help further in that process.
It actually translates to Tetris.
Tetris. All right.
Okay.
I like that game.
Thank you, Charlene.
Good old Google Translate.
What's the best way to check my floor capacity for a large tank?
Reach out to a contractor. And
Jump up and down. I'm sorry. I always have to turn everything into a joke. Yeah, contractor.
Yeah, you need a specialist contractor. We cannot there.
Some
They
sort
have
of
to be.
engineer or something like that can. Sam says, which water box model do you guys like better, Eden or the clear model? Ooh, that's such a tough question because they're two totally different things.
Yeah, what do you want to do with it? Like that, I think that makes a big difference on what your plans are for it. I think if you're doing like a fully planted aquarium, the clear.
Clear, yeah. The clear answer is clear. Didn't mean to do that.
He's
but-
got the jokes today.
No, that wasn't intentional. No, the definitely the clear for aquascaping, Eden for like we have a cichlid tank over here that's got some easy plants in it.
Yeah, I think everything from like a moderately planted up to just fish or any mix from there is great for the Eden. And I've even seen Eden with a really nice planted, but I think I could go either way. But if I had to pick, it'd be like heavily planted and then like mildly planted and fish only for Eden and that for clear. But I've seen both and they work.
And I'd love to see one of you guys do a discus tank and like a 6-foot Eden X.
Maybe we gotta do it.
Yeah, we've talked about it for
I know. We've talked about
7
discus
years.
tank every single time.
Yeah. What's an easy way to estimate number of plants to purchase for a freshwater nature aquascape?
Oh man.
How big is the tank?
Take what you think and then double it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you want to have when you go to do it, you want to have way more plants than you think you need, and then end up with too many and then find someone to give them away to or whatever. Then you get into it and you're down and deep in it and you're aquascaping, you're planting, and you realize you're so short, and then you got to go run back out or do another order.
Jay, also get on our Facebook group. James Clemens is in there. He could probably tell you pretty quickly.
Yeah, James would be a really good resource.
Yeah.
Get some opinions in there. But I know every time I order plants for us to do one here, I always like overestimate, but I'm so glad that I do, because I can do it in any way that I want. Because what you think you're gonna do always changes as you start planning and moving stuff around. So having more than enough options really plays out best as you go along.
And account for growth too.
Yeah.
Growth,
Yeah.
Something.
Everything's gonna grow in as well.
Ready for winners.
Oh, all right. We're gonna announce some gift card winners. You ready?
Ready?
All right. Winners.
Oh, yeah. Joshua Stevens and Tiger Megs 816.
Woo!
Congratulations, you guys. Email winners at waterboxaquariums.com. We'll get you hooked up. Let them know if you're in the US or Canada. If you're on Instagram and you left, you're out of luck.
Teach you a lesson. Yep, email in, get you a gift card tomorrow morning when we are back in the office. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in.
I
It's
just
your
realized
line.
there is a caveat to Instagram being out of luck.
What?
They could go to YouTube and rewatch it and see who won.
Oh.
I think Instagram keeps it for 24 hours and then destroys it. So
Okay.
It might still be there, but
All right. Well, you know. It's still your line. It's your turn.
All right, we appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, because we are here every week. As always, we appreciate you guys tremendously for tuning in. So,
We'll see you next week.
see ya. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. For more information on Waterbox Aquariums, visit waterboxaquariums.com.
We're live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune in, and we'll see you next week.